Welcome to Fox Academy. Today we'll be teaching you quadratics. There are certain situations when you don't have a calculator and you are asked to find the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the x-intercept, and the y-intercept. In a simple quadratic equation, you have y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, when you don't have a calculator, you have to visualize the graph by yourself. So y equals ax squared plus bx plus c will be like this, because since a is positive, it will face upwards. If a was, let's say it was y equals negative ax squared plus bx plus c, then your graph will be facing downwards. But in this case, we will work with the positive one. So when y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, your axis of symmetry is the line of reflection. So this is the middle point, the middle line. So when you look at this line, it creates a reflection on both of the sides. And when you do that, the equation or the rule that you follow for your axis of symmetry is negative b over 2a. So whenever you have an equation, you bring the b value, you make it negative over 2 times the a value. And that is your axis of symmetry. When you go to the vertex lies on the axis of symmetry. The vertex is either your minimum or your maximum value for the quadratic equation. For your vertex, you will do negative b over 2a, which will give you your x value. So your x value will be negative b over 2a. And your y value will be when you plug the negative b over 2a into your equation. So for instance, if I get 2 for your axis of symmetry, you will plug in 2 for x inside these, and whatever value you get for your y value is your answer. So this will be your plugged in y value for negative b over 2a. Your x-intercept lies on the x-axis, which is horizontal, and the value for that will always equal 0. So for instance, if I plug in, let's say any number, so 3 or 4 or negative 1, 2, or 3, your x-intercept will always be an x value, but the answer will always be 0. So here, the x values will be this point where it touches the x-axis and this point. Every quadratic has at least 2 x-intercepts because it intersects at 2 separate locations. Your y-intercept is the place where the quadratic equation intersects the y-axis. So when you look at this example, it intersects right here where your y-axis is. Every quadratic equation has one intersection with the y-axis, and that's why you have only one y-intercept. So here, whatever you plug into your y-intercept will always be, you have to plug in 0, because when you plug in 0, you have to plug in 0 for your x value, and then you will go down to your y value. So you plug in 0, and whenever you plug in 0 into ax squared plus bx plus c as the x, and whatever y value you get, that will be your y-intercept. So this is your y-intercept, and this is your x-intercept. And make sure that you have 2 x-intercepts and you have 1 y-intercept. Now I'll be teaching you how to perform quadratics. Here you're given an equation, y equals x squared minus 6x plus 14. As I said before, we will find the axis of symmetry, vertex, x-intercept, and y-intercept without using a calculator and without graphing this. The axis of symmetry is found by doing negative b over 2a. Here you will do negative b over 2a. So you put negative here, and your b value is negative 6. Negative 6. Over 2 times the a value. There is no other coefficient in front of x. Hence, you should automatically know that it's 1. So negative into negative makes it a positive 6. And 6 divided by 2 gets you 3. Hence, your axis of symmetry equation will be x equals 3. For your vertex, as I show here, you do your x value in your vertex is a negative b over 2a. So for vertex, it will be 3. And your y value will be, after you plug in negative b over 2a into your equation, what the y value you get, that will be your y value for your vertex. So here, what we're going to do is we know our axis of symmetry is 3. So we plug in 3 into the equation. So y equals x squared minus 6x plus 14. And we plug it in. So y equals, plug 3 into x. So 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 14. 3 squared is 9 minus 6 times 3 is 18 plus 14. So 9 minus 18 is negative 9 plus 14 gets you positive 5. So your vertex will be 3, 5. And a side note also, since your equation is positive, this vertex will be your minimum value. Your vertex will be your minimum value. And the reason behind this is that when you have a positive equation, your graph will always be facing upwards. So this value right here, this is the vertex, hence 3, 5 will be on the bottom. And if it were negative, so if x were to be negative, the graph will be facing downwards. But it doesn't face downwards because it's positive. Now I will be teaching you how to solve for the x-intercept as well as the y-intercept. As you see at the example above given here, you will do the, in order to find the x-intercept, you will have to do the quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. What you will do is that you will bring the a, b, and the c into this expression. So negative, you'll bring the sign for the negative 6 down here, so negative 6 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 6 squared minus 4 times a, so there's no number in front of x, so hence it's a 1, times c, which is 14, all over 2 times a, which is again 1. Negative to negative will get you a positive 6 plus or minus 36 minus 4 times 14 will get you 56 all over 2. 36 minus 56 is negative 20. You can't take the square root of negative 20, so hence this tells you that there are no x-intercepts for this problem. Now I'll be teaching you how to solve for the y-intercept. The y-intercept is easier compared to solving for the x-intercept. So what you will do first is plug in 0 into your main expression. So here, the expression is x squared minus 6x plus 14. You will put in 0 into x. So y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 14. 0 squared is 0, minus 6 times 0 is 0, plus 14. And your answer is y equals 14. So your y-intercept for this is 0, 14 in coordinate form. When it asks you for your x-intercept, you will basically put no solution for your x-intercept, and for your y-intercept, your coordinates will be 0, 14. Thank you, and I hope this trick helps.